Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today is a Truth Tuesday with my buddy Satoshi Sean. Got some stuff about Trudeau, got some stuff about some weird blue planes. Coinbase boss exited the company, and there's some other stuff going on. So anyway, I'll run through some headline stuff and give you guys our thoughts on it. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. So let me know in the chat, in the comments. Give us a like and share this video. We'll be right back right after this. Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Going pretty good. Going pretty good.
Good.
Hanging out with you and everyone there in the chat.
Hanging out with the chat. We've got great friends in the chat. Magic, JB, Rick, Letha, Tom, Silver, all the good people there in the chat. There was this story about the Trudeau Foundation collapsing after returning a CCP-backed donation. The entire board of directors, the president, and the CEO from the Trudeau Foundation has resigned. I thought this was strange. You had been talking about these Chinese offices that have been placed to supposedly help Chinese people, acclimate.
The Chinese police departments, yeah.
And that are kind of placed all over in other countries. And then it says weeks after returning a Chinese party communist or backed donation, the entire board of directors, president, and CEO from the Trudeau Foundation have resigned. A statement released from the foundation Tuesday indicates the scandal was just too much to handle for the foundation's current brass. Recent weeks, the political climate surrounding the donation received by the foundation in 2016 put a great deal of pressure on the foundation's management and volunteer board of directors, as well as our staff on our community. So there's some of this stuff that is coming out now that is news back in 2015 and 2016. I also watched an interview with Natalie Burnell had a Whitney Webb interview out, a new one just the other night, and she's talking about the AG at the U.S. Virgin Islands was fired after Biden went down for a visit after she brought charges on Jamie Dimon and Chase Bank for being associated with the Epstein stuff. But now the U.S. Virgin Islands is once again going after Chase for knowing what kind of business Epstein was doing. So those charges are moving forward for Chase Bank.
The Trudeau thing reminds me. Did you hear about the town that when the new mayor got elected, the entire police department just resigned.
Is this recent?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Okay.
He had said something like about defund the police or something, and now he's saying it was like not what he meant, that they needed to do their job or something. Anyway, he had said something against the police, and then literally as soon as he won, they all walked. So, and there's a lot of political stuff because his rival, the other mayor, the former mayor, was like, now it's just the Wild West. All the criminals moving in, setting up shop, drug dealers setting up offices and whatnot. And it's like, no, they still have the sheriff's department and the governor's like sending, the state patrol to like go there. But the entire police force, they don't have an actual police force anymore. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, it seems I've been noticing. Remember, like when all the CEOs quit a while back?
Yes.
It seems like this is now.
There was a flood of when was that? Was that when
2 years ago or something like that?
Well, but there was another flood when right when Trump got elected?
There was one after that
Um,
too. Yeah.
and then there was another mass exodus. Yeah, right
But
after.
I'm seeing a lot of like boards
Now it's all the
and the people,
boards,
yeah,
huh?
they're stepping away from stuff. Um, I think
Well, so I want to talk about this later, but speaking of that subject, the mm, oh, there was the Coinbase guy just walked away. Um, and where was that article? Banks closing. Here it is. Coinbase exchange boss exits company. And like, they're in a huge lawsuit with Reggie Middleton. They're making me share the other tab, then the other tab, then the other tab. Okay, sorry guys. This one's talking about Gupta, who once spent several years at Goldman Sachs, is leaving his post at Coinbase. Coinbase also recently lost its chief product officer as the exchange tries to weather this crypto winter. Coinbase is losing a top exec, with the company's head of exchange, Gupta, deciding to exit. He worked at Coinbase for more than 2.5 years, according to LinkedIn page. Before transitioning, Gupta spent several years at traditional finance powerhouse Goldman Sachs. Let's see. Traditional departure comes during a tumultuous time for both crypto and Coinbase. Industry is reeling amid a string of bankruptcies and bank collapses, while Coinbase has found itself in the crosshairs of the SEC. Gupta is not only a high-profile exec to depart the company, not the only high-profile exec to depart the company. Their chief product, they're just repeating what they said earlier. Okay. So not a lot of information on why, just saying that he's leaving. Interesting. What do you think all this is about?
I don't know. The Coinbase thing is weird because they have their feet in kind of both worlds. It's odd that the government is selling its Bitcoin on Coinbase while they're suing them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much that is just
They
upside down.
dumped a bunch of that Silk Road, or not Silk Road, I'm sorry.
No, Silk Road.
It was the Silk Road.
Yeah, it was stuff they took from Ross. Um,
Okay. Their Bitcoin, that Bitcoin that was, they dumped it on the market. I think in anticipation of knowing that people were going to be looking for safe havens as these banks were collapsing, and they needed to be able to push down the price of Bitcoin, because they didn't want something happening like what happened in 2017, where everybody was talking about Bitcoin
yeah,
and the price was going up. And so more and more people were running to it. When they're looking for something, a safe haven, and the price is going up. So, and even in spite of that, and them being able to they dumped, I can't remember how many $100 million on the market. It's still rising. It's over $30,000 last I heard. Oh yeah, here they have a price for it right here, 30,219 currently.
it
And
was almost
Litecoin's,
31. It was 3,800 and something
oh wow,
last time I looked earlier. So
interesting.
we're breaking that 30,000. Alex just said that we should call the show Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that
Very
was. I
good,
thought that was a
Alex.
good one.
That's a good one. Smart boy.
So what were you bouncing on about the movie?
Oh, the movie stuff. So I was driving home from school and listening to Bloomberg, and the people got all giddy about the Barbie movie, and that they were all in the movie, and well, everyone they know is in the movie, and well, we're all in a movie. And um, then they were saying, like, they were just being really cryptic with their words and talking about, well, I hear it's going to be PG-13, and well, Ken and Barbie date, and Like, it was so strange. It was really a bizarre conversation. And then they start talking about Elon tweeting about or replying to
Super Mario.
this, where is it? To the Mario, which, where is it? I might have to go to his web or his thing to, which Elon's been doing some weird tweets lately, focusing on the SpaceX thing. He did Justin X the other day, and he's talking about removing the blue legacy checks is 420. Then there's been some weird promoted tweets I've been seeing about these blue planes or blue rockets.
Weird. I just bought the movie Blue Thunder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was on sale.
And did you see him do this? Our landlord at San Francisco HQ says we're legally required to keep the sign as Twitter and cannot remove the W. So we painted it background color. Problem solved. Why would he take the W out of the Twitter sign?
I don't know.
And then he responded on that one and said,
Titter.
That's what he said. He goes, they tried to muffle our titter.
Boobies.
Why would he say that?
Because he's making a boob joke.
Why would he say that?
Because he's trolling everyone. Because
Yeah.
he enjoys having fun and doing that. Because he's worth almost $200 billion.
It's not funny.
200,000 millions. And he still works. He wants to have fun. And some people find that humor appealing. Obviously, he's one of them. And a lot of the people on Twitter.
Okay. I don't know.
But yeah, the Barbie movie, it's supposed to be good. It's got that, that one really good actress who's very attractive in it.
Okay, but there's something about not the Barbie movie, but the
Super Mario.
Oh wait, no, he just did this. Promote it. Oh no, this is a promoted tweet. Crime still legal though, FYI. Less of a status symbol and more insignia. The willingness to pay Musk $8 per month. Some prominent media outlets are like avoiding the new Twitter blue like the plague. Some supervisors want city officials and departments to do the same. Hillary, Brennan, Myrna.
Well, I don't know if they fixed the way it was, but the way Twitter was before Musk took over is that people, like high profile people, they don't see tweets on their feed from regular people. They only see
Other blue check marks.
And that's how it was set, and it was very kind of elitist, and they didn't want to see common people. So that's.
But he's removing all of the legacy blue checks on 420. He says, and they'll have to pay for them like everybody else. Is what he's saying here 2 hours ago.
Interesting. Thanks, Phil. Please smash the like button, everybody. Crush it.
So I don't know. There's something going on about the movies. It's something about this that with Mario movie and the Barbie movie. I don't know what it means.
The thing with Mario is that Chris Pratt. It's very it's the Maverick of animated movies. So if you look on like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, the critics hate it because it's anti-woke. It's just a good movie that stays true to the source material, to the game, and to like gamers. So audiences love it.
And Mario is anti-woke?
Yes. And it's got Chris Pratt, who is, Christian, and everyone in Hollywood really hates him.
Okay.
So, but it's very unapologetic about it, just like Pratt is. But it's doing super well, which is making the establishment and critics and all very, very angry. So they're really, going after it, trying to hit it, but people just are flocking to the movie and watching it because it's a good movie.
Oh, okay. And people are tired of the woke crap. That's why I was like, I didn't even want to talk about it when you're like, let's talk about, you know,
Yeah,
Dylan's probably a psyop. And I was like, oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
Dylan Mulvaney is a psyop. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't even want to talk about
It's
it.
obvious. You know, I was thinking about that in a more grandiose thing.
Yeah.
You remember when you were a kid in every comedy skit, every silly movie or whatever, crazy people in the crazy house. Not supposed to say those words, but the crazy people in the crazy house. There were two main tropes when I growing up, and one of them was that it was like a guy who thought he was a woman, or that was one, that was the one, and then the other one is that they thought they were Napoleon. Wasn't those
Like
like the
the
two?
Pat thing on Saturday Night Live.
Well, yeah, what's one thing, but like every comedy skit, every whatever, whenever you're talking about like Nuts in the Nut House, the joke was always he thinks he's the opposite sex or he thinks he's Napoleon. Or what's that
Oh,
was always
yes, I
that's why I
do.
learned who Napoleon was, because it was always somebody. Oh,
He
he
had a
thinks he's
Napoleon
Napoleon, and then I was
complex.
like, "Who's Napoleon, Mom?"
Yeah.
And then that's how I learned.
Hmm.
But it's really weird that they're not crazy anymore, you know.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm not talking about because it's a gray area now. But I saw this one guy get up before some city council or something, and he looked like it was a joke, and he looked insane. Um, he was like wearing a fairy outfit and a dress, but he had like a long splotchy beard, and he was like, I'm a boyfriend to this wonderful woman, and I'm a girlfriend to this great woman and this other guy, and it was just all bizarre. And then like
Hmm.
people clapped, and I was like, I don't what? It's just odd. It's odd
Yeah. Well,
how
that's why they
what
call them
was
mentally ill, right?
yeah, that's like what was like the rubber stamp, the joke of mentally ill. That's what this now it's and but but for someone to say I'm Napoleon is not crazy anymore. It's like I identify as Napoleon. That's not crazy now. That's crazy.
It's crazy. Another thing that is crazy is these US banks are abruptly closing innocent customers' accounts without warning. Um, this is according to a report. Of course, it's from the Times, so I don't know. But it says that suspicious activity is triggering abrupt account closures. Um, and people don't even notice until they go to try to spend their money.
Mm,
Um, one such member of Chase tried to pay for dinner and found out both their credit cards were declined when they called the bank. Support agent said that Chase had let them go, and he asked why, and they said unexpected activity. He visited the bank, and the bank cut him a cashier's check for his balance with no further explanation. He says he's been lawfully living in the US since 2013, and his family in Pakistan had regularly wired him money since the day he arrived, but says various types of fraud are on the rise in financial institutions. Let's see. But
it's
the
interesting. I hadn't
Times
thought
notes
of
only 4% of
Ethan,
stars are like.
whatever his name is, the YouTuber influencer guy, um, who used to be like okay, and now he's really like super woke and nobody likes him. He just had because he was he has like a third party for his ads and stuff, and these
Oh, Chase got in trouble for the Bernie Madoff thing, and now they're being investigated in the Virgin Islands for the Epstein stuff.
mhm.
So that may be what's going on.
But
They
he was trying to move his money, and he noticed that this company's been stealing from him, and they stole like $650,000 over like months and months. Um,
Mm.
so, but I think that's probably why he started looking into stuff and moving things. He didn't even notice it, but I think it's probably because of this, because he was using an Israeli bank before, and he was trying to move it to a U.S. bank. So things are happening with banks, even on the like the lower level. Now, what
Mhm.
we're talking about, people just don't know until they go to try to withdraw something, and there's limits. Uh, and bank runs now, it's it's like more accepted. Like before, back in the day, when people would have a bank run, like, my money, give me my money, or else you're stealing my money. And now people are just like, oh, there's the withdrawal limit of only X amount of dollars, and people
And
are like,
they're
oh,
okay with it.
yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, but no,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
the different mindset. It's like, hey, that's my money. It's you can't hold my money. It's like people just make rules. Oh no, we can't. We
Mhm.
can hold that for longer because we have a bank. We're a bank.
I will say there is some stuff internationally happening that I think is interesting. I watched a video that Reggie did. He really believes that the dollar will continue to be the world reserve currency in spite of what's happening with BRICS and all that because of the strength of our military. And he says, like in the past, like we will say we are the world reserve currency, and if you disagree with us, we will shoot you in the head. And because that's what happens. And you're seeing this central banks around this article says central banks around the world have said they will boost the flow of US dollars into the global financial system. Six major central banks have come together to start doing that. Here's an announcement. Cuba is in a surprise reversal of US dollar deposit ban. Um, which that's kind of big news because because of sanctions and all of that kind of stuff. Well, now it won't let me show the whole article. Why won't it let me show the whole article? It let me do the whole article earlier.
Maybe you can only do so many per day or something.
Oh, it's
I
frustrating.
have a I have a question for you though, and this is
Mm-hmm.
just a what if. I thought of that too. That the U.S. has the strongest military, and they're going to push for it to be the reserve currency.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But what if none of that matters?
I don't know.
What if
Yeah, because
I've been talking about Russia doing the tactical, or China now if they do it. There's
right.
so many countries have nukes that they say, hey, you can send 500,000 troops over here, and we have one bomb that'll kill all of them. And then if you want to go ahead and attack, kill all, destroy our country, fine. But it's like that doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The threat of old school violence and warfare, no more. And if they did that, if they crossed that line, Russia, China, whoever, India, basically, it's really scary that it is the BRICS nations pretty much. If those countries, if they called the bluff, which isn't really a bluff, but if they called us on it and said, we'll one up you, if you want to go for it, let's get crazy, motherfucker. What would we
Mm-hmm.
do? What would we really do if they don't want to play our game and fight our war the way it's stacked in our favor? If they don't want
Yeah,
to do
I
that,
don't know.
then what are we going to do?
I mean, they are right now, they are trading outside of the US dollar.
Mm,
So, although we're saying, like, we're standing there saying, no, we're the world reserve currency. And they're like, you can say that all you want, but
yeah,
we're over here trading without you. And so, and we're sending back, no one's buying your treasury notes and
but
whatever.
yeah,
So, I don't know what that looks
only
like.
thing is we could
Um,
put our foot down militarily, like you said,
yeah.
and then force it. But if they say no, no, we're not going to play your game that way, where it's stacked, of course you're going to win. We're not going to allow that. We're going to
Yeah.
go all in. It's like that's the scariest thing. So like, jeez, what do we have left? And also, you can only have the world's strongest military for so long if you don't have that money, that pillar, because you have to keep buying it. You have to keep feeding that war machine. And if you don't have that money, and if it's not the big dog,
Well, and if we're sending it to Ukraine, even though it's coming back to our politicians and going to contracts and military contracts, I don't believe it's going into our military contracts.
yeah.
Is it?
And we're seeing
I don't know.
countries stab us in the back, like Japan. I think Japan's the next one after Saudi. Um,
Oh,
so,
there was a good report on Japan.
but
They were standing with us, actually.
can you imagine if like some corporations flip? They're already here set up. They're entrenched in our secret service. They're entrenched in our military. If like BlackRock or something like that were uh, to flip, to defect, and was able to work with China or Russia or someone to destroy us from the inside, that's like, it, and it's hard to get. I mean, you just get angry at the government, but we have to take responsibility because it's our government and we are self-governing and we allowed it to happen. So we've allowed this monster to be created, and it's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah, but a lot of this is being exposed. A lot of these, whether it's companies that are being exposed or, Monsanto or not Monsanto, Moderna today totally tanked in the stock market because their new jab came out and failed. Some of that kind of stuff is being
But we need to
exposed.
not just expose it. We got to start fixing stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they really do have to
Yeah.
start
No,
accepting it and
I
moving
agree.
forward. Like, yes, this is messed
This
up.
Pentagon leak came out
Mhm.
today. They're freaking out, the Bragg thing. Jim Jordan is just bringing a lot of truth out about all of that. Today is the 4-year anniversary since it says April 11th marks 4 years since Julian Assange has been held at the UK's harshest prison for publishing
Yeah,
the truth. So he's been detained in one form or another for 12 years.
I know that's
Journalism.
crazy.
That is insane.
It is. It
Um,
is. But there's a lot of the us versus them thing is still just so terrible. I don't know if you know. Well, here in Texas, that guy that he killed the BLM protester, and you know about that?
mm-mm.
Oh, dude, like here, killed the BLM protester. He just got found guilty of murder, and before the sentencing, it's like the day he was found guilty. Governor Abbott said, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna pardon him." And he said he brought it to the board of pardons, and everyone is freaked out. It's never happened before. It's unprecedented. Um, it's very, very king-like, very emperor-like. Because usually pardons take years. There's like this huge process, and literally it's like, oh, don't worry about it. Even though a court said he was found guilty of murder, um, but Abbott just said no. Texas, stand your ground state.
There's a lot of things that Abbott could be doing that he isn't doing as the governor. I mean, he could have had that wall fixed a long time ago. So, I
The
mean,
wall's a joke, though. The wall is it's what was it like 8 billion or something? It's like
I
chump
don't
change.
know.
We're
Yeah.
throwing 50 billion at these things, at just not even Ukraine, but like
Right.
gender studies and stupid things
Yeah.
that the government that we could have paid for the wall 100 times.
Right.
The fact that it wasn't paid for, it wasn't done. It's like just political. The military, they could have done it under the military budget. There's so many things they could have done easily to pay the small amount of money that it cost for the wall. The fact that it wasn't done, it's doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, here's more. Russian UN envoy tells reporters that BRICS nations are moving to reconfigure the world order and delink the global economy from the dollar. So there's more, you know.
Mm-hmm. It is odd how China. I don't know if I said this earlier, but I was thinking it. How they just operate with impunity in the things that they get away with.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine during the Cold War when we were growing up, if Russia started opening police departments in the United States?
No,
Jesus,
no,
no, or in any other countries? I mean, no way.
no, no.
So it's just it's
Yeah,
it's insane the things that they do and get away with. Um,
yeah. And it's insane this whole Restrict Act thing, which that goes into a whole nother thing, which we need to jump over to your channel here pretty quick. But people need to be writing their congressmen and women and speaking out against that because they are using these terms and basically they want to like digitally enslave all of us, and we will be the next China if we're not already.
mm,
It's completely insane. All the terms that they're using, involuntary celibate, violent, and extremist. If you use terms like Chad or Stacy, you'll get on a list. Um, I
the government has
mean,
too much money to be able to do that. Can you think of the size of government to where if someone calls someone a Chad, we need to be able to track that, know who they are, put them on a list. I mean, really?
it's
We need
insane.
we have money to do that and manpower, and that's really
Hmm.
that's not something that should be a thought, you know?
No, no, yeah, it's completely insane to me. Um, yeah, they were this list of which this really mimics the stuff that you were talking about that my mom had told me about years ago, where they had the Walmarts all in
Mhm.
Texas and all that, where the concertina wire was pointed in, and they were, had people dots on people's mailboxes and had everybody kind of already sorted out. They knew who they were going to go pick up as soon as they could get Hillary in office. Um, and then she didn't win. And so, if this is really Obama's third um, term, then that's a pretty scary place to be. I
I
don't believe
think
it
I
is,
think
but
that they know they've lost the black vote, and that's what's the most scary to them.
mm,
There's just so many people of color, black, more, yeah, because they lost the Latino vote a long time ago. But there's so many black people now that are just like, this is bullshit. This is obvious. It's a they're all like waking up more than any other group I think in the country. Um, like all the stuff on YouTube, all the it's just and that's what's like that's their bread and butter. That's like what they can ignore. That they know they have that. So I think the nuts they know it's over. I I mean you and I both think that uh, Biden is not the most popular president in U.S. history.
right.
So and
Yeah.
but by votes he is. So we, we
Hmm.
we both think that's a little weird. Um,
Right.
and I don't think they can get away with it. Do they have the balls to try and get away with it and just say screw you?
I couldn't believe that they said he's running again. I did see that Robert Kennedy Jr. is running, and I thought Westwood and I talked about it on Friday, and it would be really cool if that was what. So there's a Kim Clemente prophecy about the U.S. becoming one, and so if we became one again, if we went back to no more parties, if we were able to unite, and it said that we would stop eating our children, which the McDonald's thing is supposedly happening, going to close, and the truth will come out about that. And then um, we would become one, and then a humble man would help heal the money. And I think that's Reggie Middleton. And so, like, I could see those things happen and heal our nation, um, and heal the land. And but it's going to take a lot to get there. But I could see Trump and Robert Kennedy Jr. coming together and running together.
I think Carrie Lake's gonna
You think Carrie Lake's going to
step
run?
up with Trump. Yeah.
Carrie Lake and Kennedy.
Yeah.
That could work.
But they're they're courting each other, and she's in Iowa now, trying to win the Arizona seat, and she's in Iowa, just talking to everybody. She's the most popular Republican in the state of Iowa right now, like from like a poll that I saw. So
what's the point of her being in Iowa? I don't understand that.
Exactly. She's going. She's either going to go for Congress, or she's. I think she's being set up
to run for president.
To run for vice president with Trump. I really do. And then there's another woman who's probably going to go with DeSantis. And there's like two different camps. Like one, people that like Trump like Carrie Lake for vice president. People that like DeSantis like this other woman for vice president. And these are like that's the Republican side. It's not just like rhinos or they're just regular people. So it's going to be interesting.
It is going to be very interesting to see.
All right, let's jump over to
sure. All right. Yeah. You guys, please get your tickets for the Team Mighty celebration. Yeah, my mom will be there too. Here in Oklahoma City. We hope for all of you to join us. And if you can get a ticket, I can send you a link to join online as well if you're unable to make it here, but we'd rather have you here so we can give you a hug, and you can join us for the happy hour the night before, and join us the day of for the event, and we're gonna have a great time. So get to Oklahoma City and join us and support Mame and be with the fam. So
crush the like button. Also, love y'all. I'll see you over there.
We'll see you on Sean's channel next. Take care.
Bye.